Hi there friends, my name is Teresa. Welcome to my channel Homestead Life and welcome to my kitchen. Today we are going to be putting up a bunch of chicken. I have 30 pounds or so of chicken thighs and 30 pounds or so of chicken breasts. We're going to be doing some canning, we're going to be doing some sealing and freezing. So join me on my adventure and let's see how this pans out. I haven't done a big preservation like this in a while, so come along for the ride. All right, so let's get to the business of getting this prepped and put away. So I've got the 60 pounds here, 30 pounds or so here, and 30 pounds or so here. As you'll see, we have our all natural. This is just at 40 pounds exactly. Then moving over here to our boneless, skinless chicken breast, we have just at 40 pounds. Again, I got this for $1.59 a pound. And then for the chicken thighs, I got that for $1.29 a pound, which around here is extremely good, which is why I picked up a bunch to be able to put some on the shelf as shelf stable, as well as put some in my freezer. And let's, I'm gonna go ahead and put one of them in the refrigerator because I don't want any of this meat to go bad. All right, I've gone and I put the chicken thighs in my refrigerator in my laundry room. So let's go ahead and start with this big box here. Show you exactly how this looks. Okay, so here we have the bag out of the box. We're starting with the chicken breasts. This chicken breast container, this is one big bag. But when you look in here, there's another bag, and this bag has been sealed. When I got home from the Costco Business Center, I put it straight away into I put it right into my secondary refrigerator, which is in my laundry room. So it's nice and cold, and we're gonna keep it nice and cold while we're working with it. The first thing I'm gonna do is get a couple of bowls out. One bowl, I'm going to separate the things that I'm gonna put into the freezer versus the things we're gonna can up. So give me just a moment on that. Okay, so now we've got our chicken. We're gonna put this to the side. I'm gonna grab 2 bowls. Here we have 2 bowls. On the smaller bowl, I'm gonna put the chicken that we're going to use our food sealer to preserve up and put in the freezer. And then the other bowl will be for when we slice everything up. So the first thing I'm gonna do is get a good size or a good amount of chicken in this bowl. But first, let's wash our hands. Okay, now that my hands are all washed and dried with antibacterial soap, I am going to grab the scissors and I am going to cut into our meat. Open this bag out. There's no turning back now. Let's see, what does this look like? Oh, this is awesome. They're in smaller bags. This is perfect. So each of these has smaller bags. I'm not sure how much is in each bag, but we're gonna bring over. This one, I'm gonna count out one bag here. We have 1, 2, 3, wow, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 10. I'm gonna go put this in my 11, 12. I think I'm gonna do 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, 16 ought to be enough to last us for a while in the freezer. So 16 of these, and now I'm gonna put that off to the side. I'm gonna rinse my hands again because we're working with raw chicken. At this point, I'm going to take my wedding ring off because it is just wanting to fall off. So, I have this chicken here. I'm going to put some cellophane over the top of it, just so that that was a nice sound. And put some more cling wrap on this side, and then I'm going to go stick this in the other refrigerator to continue to keep it cool. This is going to be the easiest part, and we can actually seal these while we have some jars going on in the canner, but I just wanted to at least get this separated out. Just I'll go put this in the refrigerator. Okay, the reason that I chose the 12-quart bowl to do that is it will fit in my refrigerator. I don't have a big French door. I just have an old-fashioned side-by-side in there. Now, I am going to get out a couple more things. I'm going to get out a cutting board. I'm going to grab my knife. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to slice up these pieces of meat onto into decent size, not tiny chunks, but decent size. So let me do that. Okay, so we're gonna start with our knife. We've got our bowl here. And I know that some people will say, hey, just go ahead and cut it and put it right into the containers, but I'm not gonna do that. I am just going to slice these up and get these into workable pieces that I can put into my pint jars. I'm not gonna do super big jars, but I do want to have pieces that are making something that calls for chicken, that it doesn't need to be fresh chicken, that we have options. So if I'm making a chicken salad sandwich or something of that nature, I can definitely use this. Now, because this is coming from Costco Business Center, this is food grade chicken. And what do I mean by food grade chicken? This is the same kind of thing that if you go to a restaurant, they would be serving up to you. So it's not maybe diced as finely or trimmed as good. Let's just get this all chopped up. You're gonna see, you might wanna do a little bit of cleanup on some of this, just because of the way that it was taken off. Move this out of the way. Well, actually, I'm gonna move it over here. So this is really out of the way. And let's bring over some jars. Behind me here, I have a ton of jars that are already washed and ready to go. Some of them are brand new. They've been washed. I'm just opening them. Them because that's not the way I was taught way back in the day to can, so I just have never done that. Okay, now we're gonna just start taking some of our chicken am putting it in the jars. And because we're doing Rawpack, we are not going to be putting liquid in here. I repeat, no liquid. So all we're doing is putting our meat in the jars and leaving about 1 inch headspace. Once I get a little bit further in here, that's when I'm going to look at some of these smaller pieces to fill in some gaps. So now I'm going to come over and grab a paper towel. With a little bit of vinegar. And I'm just gonna go around each one of these, because I didn't use a funnel. So now that we have that, I'm gonna call it good. Put our lid on our jar. Not real tight, just fingertip tight. So now we've got these all jarred up. Meet you over at the stove. Okay, so we're going to now take our cans from over there to over here after I put in the allotted water. So we're gonna fill, my canner has a line and I've used this enough times that I know just where that line is. So I'm gonna fill it up with water. Now this is cool water. I don't want to put in hot water because all of our stuff is cold. So I'm gonna put this into the line, which needs just a little bit more. And there we go, right to the line. Now I'm also going to put in a splash of white vinegar. The reason for this is that my water is a little bit hard here. So if I don't, it gets all that nasty stuff all over the cans. Now, if I were to have the desire to put 2 layers, I can't. That's one thing I don't like about this canner, is I'm stuck with just the 1 layer. And I'm going to go ahead and get this started and start bringing this up to a boil slowly because I don't want to shock anything. So I'm just going to turn it on warm and let this kind of warm a little bit. And I wanted it to do that with the jars in here because if I didn't, if I got this warm and everything else was cold, I would shock the jars and possibly crack a jar. That's not what I want to do. So I've kind of got it on a medium low-ish, and it doesn't say, it's just numbers. So I've got it between 3 and 4 on a 10 scale. So I've got that warming up a little bit. Let's go back to doing the rest of our jars. Let's go to our second round here. Again, these are all clean. All I'm doing is going to be putting stuff in the jars, and I don't even know exactly how many we're gonna get. So this is like a learning experience for both of us here. I didn't feel the need to use the debugger with the other one because they fit in really well. So, okay, there we have our packet. I'm gonna grab this. Again, and I'm just gonna go ahead and spin these. So now I did pick up a couple of cans just to kind of touch them, and they are getting a little warm. They're not super cold, so I'm doing the right thing here. So I want to wait till the top gets just a little bit warmer, so giving it another minute or so to heat up, and then I'm going to kick it up a notch. I can probably kick it up just a little bit now, and then we will keep going with our food preservation. I'm going to bring you over here so you can see this stuff. When they did my kitchen, they did not do it with the intention of having filming going on in here, that is for sure. Okay, I have my, let's rinse out our bowl. Wash this really good. Off, I'm going to take some towels, paper towels. I don't like to use a lot of paper towels, but when I am working with chicken or beef, any kind of meat, sometimes it's best. Wipe this off and bring it back over to the island. So now we have our presto canner on the stove with the steam going for 10 minutes to get that up to pressure, and then we will put the weight on it and do 75 minutes while we're continuing to process the rest of this. And I'm just going to continue making up these little bags with our food saver. Okay, you can see the steam that's coming out here. It hasn't yet popped, but it should here shortly. We've got 5 more minutes before it's time to put the weight on. All right, here we have the chicken from the other refrigerator. We're gonna go ahead and start portioning that up. I did make some little pouches for the food saver, and let's get that going. Okay, let's open this up. And these chicken breasts are the same as the other. If you notice, they are just needing to be split. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. I'm gonna split split these up. They're still nice and cold, which is good. Okay, so hopefully I picked something that's the right size to put this in. Okay, let's see if we can put one of the breasts in here. Yes, that's gonna work perfectly. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is put some breasts in, and then that way we can just kind of form an assembly line. You can hear my canner is working away over there. We haven't set the timer yet because it hasn't completely started rocking. Got our seal meal, or I just keep wanting to call it a seal meal, our chicken open. We're going to put this here right at the little tray. Put this down. We are going to do vacuum. Oh, help if I had it plugged in. Okay, we are going to do moist because there is stuff here. We're going to vacuum it. And then we are going to go ahead and seal. Come on, seal. And now we have our gently rocking. Start the timer. Multitasking, as you can see the green light's on. As soon as the green light goes off. Okay. We should have a nicely sealed piece of meat. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do that for our next one here. It needs to have a beep when it's done. That would be amazing. It had a beep when it's done. All right, yahoo! We have a winner. Now wipe this off. Wipe this off. Take out the tray. It really was only a couple of driblets, but out anyway. Let the tray dry over here, and then I'm going to unplug this. And put this out of the way. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and mark these so that I can put these in the refrigerator. And 2 chicken breasts. Got those all marked up. Now I'm going to go ahead and put those into the freezer. I'll let this quit rocking. After 10 minutes, I'm going to take this off And then we will let the steam out and just let it do its thing. Now, I know some people actually let it just completely come to under pressure. You can see I have no gauge, so I can't tell when that exactly comes under pressure. This is the way I've done it forever. This is the way that the book told me many years ago, and the way that I was taught by some master canners that had been canning. And I say master canners, they don't have certification. They have just been canning for 40, 50 years at that time. So I'm talking, you know, the canning community, that they did this all the time. So in about 10 minutes, 9 minutes now, we'll do that. In the meantime, while it's doing this, because I'm still gonna let it sit, and after it's sat, and I've taken the lid off, then I'm gonna put the jars on some, just some towels, but we'll get to that in a moment. What I'm gonna do is go ahead and get ready to bring in the chicken thighs. Now, as you can see, we have our 30 pounds in the box. It's been in the kitchen. Now we have puppies hanging out with us because they know when it's after 5. All right, so I'm gonna take the lid to the box off. Just kind of toss it over here. Again, looks like it's packaged the same way as the previous one. Put it in here a little bit tighter, so that was probably an easier way to do that. See, 40 pounds at $1.29 a pound, so $51.60. This was packaged on the 6th. I like that it tells you all this stuff. Again, that it's all natural, boneless, skinless chicken thighs. So I'm going to get the same two, after I put this box over here, I'm gonna go ahead and get the same 2 bowls that I had before and get those washed up. Well, they're already washed up, they're dried, so let me bring them over. They're not completely dry, but that's okay. So here is the bowl that's going to go into the refrigerator in the laundry room for chicken thighs to just be put into the food saver. Again, let's take a peek at this. We have our chicken in this sealed container. I'm gonna go ahead and open that. Out of our way. And it's looking like it's packaged identically to the chicken breast, where it's in little bags. So what I think I'm going to do is just take 1 whole bag worth and put it over here. Maybe might be more than that, but be in there for an extremely long period of time, maybe 20, 30 minutes, but I do want to make sure that we don't warm this up too much. So let me put this back in the other refrigerator. We're going to see if we need to really dice these up or not. I think we are going to need to a little bit. Again, I'm going to do this with the fat on. I'm not going to cut it out too much. Just enough to kind of make some smaller pieces. Okay, we have our timer going off over here. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn the timer off and let it do its thing. me, Petunia. You are in my way, my love. We are going to go ahead and put a couple of towels out here in preparation. We're going to open our canning thing here. We're going to open it away from our face so that we don't get a steam bath. It's looking pretty good. Now, one of the things with this particular, oh, that looks good. With these lids is that they buckle a little bit, but then they end up sealing. It's weird. I think it's just because they're a little bit cheaper. And if anything didn't seal, that's fine. I'll go ahead and use it for something else. Okay. We have removed the old jars that were in there. We put water in here, which has cooled it down. We've got some jars just sitting in that water, which is kind of a lukewarm, so that it brings a little bit more to a slower temperature. I'm gonna turn this on and do a low. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and let that sit. Now let's go back over to our chicken that Miss Princess is trying to feast on. This child, I tell you. You gotta give her her due. She does try really hard to sneak food. The thing is, when she licks her chops, you can hear it. So, looks to be a lot more chicken than what we had put up for the chicken breast, which is totally fine. Now I wish I had them all. Okay. So let's get started with packing our jars. Let's start back here. in here. It's not really boiling, but it's definitely warm. The jars are warm to the touch on the top. So I am now going to take it the next level. Put this on and crank the heat on up. You can hear it's gonna boil pretty quickly. As soon as it comes to a boil and we see the steam, that's when I will set the timer for 10 minutes to let it steam. Let's go back to the chicken. And let's get some of these ready to put a lid on. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and clean up the kitchen, and this is almost ready to start the timer on, and we'll come back in a while. All right, so while the canner is going on the stove, is got another 45 minutes or so, I have decided that I'm going to go ahead and get this chicken that we put in this other bowl all together in the pre-made storage containers so that we can kind of wrap this up. I did put the other chicken in the refrigerator since we had so much of it. I didn't want it to have a chance to go bad or anything like that. And then if I end up calling it a night because it's getting a little late and each batch is about an hour and a half from start to finish, then I might actually start it again tomorrow morning. So it gives me some options. Okay, now with the food saver bags, I am going to go ahead, my hands are clean, and I am going to do some here that are that's a big one, two, I don't know what size, three, four, wow, okay, four, and four. Okay, so let's go ahead and seal up these chicken legs, or chicken thighs. Why am I calling them legs? I don't know. And we're gonna change that to the moist setting. Vacuum. And there we have, all right, now we're gonna go ahead and open this away from our face with the steam roll. These on a towel to let slowly cool. And once these cool down, we'll go ahead and take the rings off and wipe the outside off really well. Okay, so it's a couple of days later. That's how long it took me to get all of this canned up. It was 2 days. Just because obviously I wasn't canning 24/7 and I just have a 16-quart Presto canner. So we have 53 pints of chicken between the dark meat and white meat.